I'm gonna be learning or trying to learn how to TIG weld. I just have an ESOB Rebel, which I mainly got for MIG, but it has the ability to TIG. I have just the TIG torch that comes with it, and it's just lift TIG, which means you put your tungsten directly on the metal and then press the button and then lift up instead of high frequency start, I believe it's called, where it can create an arc without touching the metal. So I know that you want to have your stuff clean when you weld it, especially with TIG. I do the same thing even with MIG. Alright, so the rod I'm going to be using is ER70S6, and it is 1/16, so pretty thin, but perfect for TIG. And I'm just using some scrap steel. With DC, you can't do aluminum, and I knew that when I bought the welder, and I don't really need to do aluminum unless I want to do some like door panels or something, but I'd rather just do it in steel. So that's just one of the downsides of having a DC only machine, but I don't see a problem. Normally you'll have a foot pedal, but you can get them for these machines, but I didn't get one yet. I'm just gonna have to be doing a set amperage with a button, and I won't be able to change it on the fly like you can with the foot pedal. Also, this is the screw that controls the gas. I need to get a new regulator because this one's broken a little bit, but so I adjust it by ear. So it's not the greatest setup, but it's good to learn on, I would say. I'm gonna try to attempt my first TIG weld, and I hope it's not too terrible. I hope I don't take the electrode for a dunk. I also got some gloves. I've been practicing feeding wire, but I don't think you really need to feed wire for the most part, unless it's a longer piece, like if I were to weld like the whole thing of that. Alright guys, so I finished practicing, doing a little bit, and it went pretty good. Right here I tried to walk the cup, but I need a little work on that. But over here, I think that one was my first one, and no, well technically this was my first one, but I forgot to actually turn on the gas. And yeah, so you could tell that didn't go too well, because compared to the rest it looks a little different, but I don't know, it's pretty fun. I watched a few videos on it before, and I didn't know that the puddle would be this small. Maybe it's because of how close I'm putting the tungsten to it, but it's a pretty small puddle. So this is the rod, which is 1/16, I think, and yeah, it's pretty small, but I feel like I could get the hang of this pretty quickly, and I'm probably gonna keep this as a reminder of my first TIG welds, and that anything that's better than this is progress. Alright, so I made these templates, a flat surface that connects to the frame that I could land these back tubes on. As you can see, I utilized that little rivet thing, and so I cut those out, and this is the final product. Or no, it's not final, I still have to box them. I made these real quick, and I think they look really good. I haven't bench welded in a while, so I've gotten better at welding since I've been doing these sort of harder welds. It looks pretty good. So it just goes like this onto the frame, and it connects in to the little rivet hole, and it fits pretty nice. Alright, so I wire wheeled this and that side. As you can see, I boxed these in. It came out pretty nice. That's pretty much how it's going to be sitting. I do imagine that it's going to be a little bit tougher to weld. You can see the little lip of the frame right there, and the boxing, or the box I made. I'm going to have to weld it like right there. Yeah, and then this side fits nice too. I did trim this a little bit much, but that's no problem. I'm gonna cover both of these frame rails with steel at first, so they're coated, and then I could weld through it, and it'll be coated underneath still. So yeah, I'm happy with these. They look pretty nice. It'll provide me like a structure when I want to box that back in, or when I get some plate, I could just make it nice and flat. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing for the past 2 days, I think. These came together pretty quickly, and so the reason I had to make those in the first place is, I might have shown this already, but when I go to put this tube in, it didn't really go anywhere. And I'm just gonna cut it right there, and it'll land right on that pad. I need to get some 16 gauge steel, and I went to Reno the other day, and they wanted quite a bit for it, so I'm just gonna go to San Francisco and pick up some stuff when I get a chance. Pretty nice day out today. I went to San Francisco and went to the steel supply that I like. And so what I'm doing right now is getting these holes patched in my floor. And what I did was I got this template and I just trimmed it until I got it where I want it, and then I transferred it to metal like I always do, and I have this now. It fits pretty good. There's a little gap right here. Alright, so here's a little status update. I welded this one in. I still need to make a piece for the front to cover it up, but that's done. And I did these two, welded those, and then that one's in. And right now I'm making a template for this. It looks actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to put a little bend in the metal right here, and it just comes up and lands on these pads I made for the tube landings. One thing I'm not sure I updated you guys on is when I was trimming the tube that goes right here, I trimmed it a little wrong, and now I have to get a new one, which is no problem. That's just why that one isn't in, or was never in really. So yeah, and then the good thing about this is if I flip it over, bend it the other way, it fits this side too somehow. I don't know how it does, but pretty cool. One issue I could see coming up is trying to get the welder back there. I might be able to finesse it, but I can't get, there's like this like RTV I think it's called, or something, where they just put a bead, you can see right here, they just put like a bead of it, this like plastic stuff, and I can't get the angle grinder with the wire wheel back there to get that stuff off. So it's gonna be a little more difficult for me, but if I look here, I might just be able to weld it straight on the wall instead of on the seam or whatever. So kind of a pain, but this looks promising, so I'm gonna probably cut this out, and then I'm running out of daylight, but I got a lot done today, which is pretty good. So yeah, another thing I'm gonna have to look out for is these body mounts. Probably gonna have to like cut a hole or something, no problem. So yeah. Alright, so as you can see, I've used up quite a lot of 16 gauge. It's thicker than I thought it'd be, but that's not a bad thing. It can sort of support the cab a little bit better than this thinner material, but as you can see, let me get my light. As you can see, I made this piece, it fits super nice, besides like right here, which I didn't really account for, but that's no problem at all. But as you can see back there, it butts up against this like little ledge, and that's why I had to trim it a little bit, and then like against here is like flush, looks really nice. And then right here there's like a little lip I could weld, but and then I could grind it down like this one. I'm gonna end up smoothing these out so it looks like one piece. Well, not really, but it'll look from right here and over here you can't really tell when I grind it. And then on the other side, same thing. So it needs to be pushed down a little bit to get to here, because this landing is not completely flat like this one is. This one's a little like that. But this one fits really well too, no gap, and I have a nice spot to weld on it right here, and then right here, and all along here there's no gap. Also back here where the tube goes into, I'm gonna have to make a little piece. I'm gonna have to make a little piece like right here on both of them. Same as right here. Alright, so I'm getting a little fatigued, a little bored today. I accomplished a pretty good amount. Made these panels and welded them in for the most part. They look pretty nice, but just welding on this to the paint, and like it's burnt, it like burns up like the rubber and whatnot that they spray on. So you can't really get a good bead on this stuff. It's kind of demotivating, but I just have to do this piece on each side, or make one, and then the back piece back there, and then right here, and then the two front pieces, and that should be it. I'm a little bit unsure of what I'm gonna do with the door bars, because if I plate this in, I'm not gonna be able to weld in right here. So I think I might burn those in tomorrow and get them permanent, I guess, which is gonna make it a little bit harder to put the dash together, and general just like climbing in and out all the time. I probably climb out of these things like 100 times a day, it feels like. But yeah, so right now it's a little bit difficult to understand the order of operations that I want to do, because I don't want to put the dash in and have to weld or grind, because dust and stuff will get in it after I clean it out. And so that's one thought, but then the other is, how am I gonna mount there's that, but I need like the front seat mount, or front seat bar, and I can't I can't weld that on without putting the dash in, because I don't know where I want the seats to be. And I don't know, and the same with this, like I want to cover it up, but I also need to weld it, and the door bars will get in the way of the dash, and then it's like it's a lose-lose situation, I guess. But right now I think the best option for me is to make the templates for the door bars and cut the metal out, or for covering it, and then weld in the door bars, and then cover it after, and then the dash last, or the dash and then the seat bar, and that should be it.